This is a video that just recaps my impression of the installation of the Signal Dynamics Headlight Modulator system onto a bike. This was actually my first time installing one. I've had a lot of these systems over the years and actually tested them early on and wrote about them in the motorcycle press when they first came out. I've always been very impressed with the product. What it does is on bright days, not at night, not at dusk, not first sunrise either, but when the light's pretty strong, it will make your headlight, whether it's on high beam or low beam, blink or modulate 4 times a second. And it has an effect on other drivers that's great because they're like shocked. They see it and they don't know exactly what it is. They don't pull it out in front of me. And I would say that on the motorcycles I've owned that had a headlight modulator, and they've all been Signal Dynamics over the years, no one has ever pulled in front of me with a bike that had that system on it. But on the bikes I've had that don't have the system, I've all had somebody pull in front of me. So that's just my own personal anecdote. But let me talk for a moment about the installation process. You know, I made an exhaustive series of 10. It requires some thinking through a little bit, like you want to look at the instructions and go, okay, what's what part and where's it going to go? And, you do have to get access to the back end of your headlight housing. And sometimes that's real easy and sometimes a little bit more involved, but in no cases is it a big deal. And then you got to put the system in, plugging it in. I mean, it's so simple, it's ridiculous. Winding the optic sensor up to a place you want it takes some thinking. I used a little hanger to poke it through and then pull it out. I would say, I had to do it, but I can't say that it was a tough repair. And unfortunately, I have a lot of experience with repairs because I tear apart old bikes, the engines, the top ends, do a valve job, tear them apart and put them back to museum quality. So I'm really stuck in the world of mechanical work quite a bit. Didn't used to be. But I would say you probably should be able to get through the installation. If you're a little patient, take your time and use your mind to think through each of the steps to be sure that you kind of know what you're doing. I want to say that for me, safety on a motorcycle has been a passion in my entire life. I wear a full face helmet that's yellow, armored jacket, armored pants, armored boots, armored gloves. I drive the speed limit. I don't drive after drinking. I consider that everyone in front of me might be trying to kill me. But I'm 71 and I started riding when I was 14 and I've never had a problem on the road. So I think my system's working pretty well up till now. I would say that the reason I got the headlight modulator system for this bike I'm riding for a friend of mine who's disabled, I'm taking care of his Honda GL 1500, kind of as a favor. I put 120 hours into rebuilding the whole bike for him and all of it. He likes to hear stories about my going for rides, and he knows that it'll be kept in top condition, while it's here. But I think that short of like all that riding equipment and care in driving, that the signal dynamics headlight modulator is not an option for me. It is required equipment. I don't like it when people pull in front of me, and it makes it very difficult for me to stay safe. And I want to explain a little bit about why. If you look forward, you kind of see the periphery of your vision all the way around. Okay, it's a huge area. And while at night a headlight might stick out and you'd notice it, when it's bright and the sun's bright, that headlight doesn't stand out as much as we might think, especially if it's up against a lighter background, like a light sky or something like that. You're going downhill. Drivers are going uphill, and your headlight is competing with bright sky. The headlight is not as noticeable and not as visible as we might think. So I would say that you've got that modulation, blink, 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 to help you. And that's why all the safety vehicles out there have blinking lights. They increase visibility a whole bunch. I'm not paid to make the videos, nothing like that. I did these because I wanted to show the process. And I couldn't really find what I was looking for on YouTube. But anyway, I also want to let you know that the systems are designed. There's a different harness for one headlight versus two headlights. And there are different systems for halogen bulbs versus LED. I will encourage you to replace your headlight bulbs while you have that headlight housing out of the bike. But I'm kind of a safety bug. And I think that the importance of safety has been misunderstood by dealerships over the years. They look at it as kind of like, well, I don't really know if they want to get heavily into that or not. But when you consider that loved ones are kind of put in a tough spot when there's an injury, and of course the rider's put in a tough spot, anything we can do to stay safe is the wise move. Because motorcycling is not a recreation. It's a sport. It's an extreme sport, like mountain climbing or something like that, and you want to approach it with an attitude that you're going to do everything humanly possible to keep yourself safe out there. Because there are some very real inherent risks. But anyhow, so the signal dynamics safety system is on my list of must-haves to stay safe. Because it's fun to ride motorcycles as long as you can stay safe. Good luck to you. Enjoy your motorcycling.